Oh, the new Mean Girls movie is a musical, and nobody knew until they got to the theater. I saw this video today that these like people in the movie starting, and then the first like singing line that's in the movie, the whole theater ups with, "Oh my god!" Like everybody's just upset.
Yeah, I knew. Like, there's something there was something I knew. I watched the first trailer, and it's like they did the
They
same
didn't market it. Yeah.
They definitely did the same with Wonka. Like
Yeah.
they
No one knew it was a musical.
the trailers, they cut out all the music so it like looks like a normal movie, and they use clips that are not when they're not singing, right? And then so they don't market it as a musical, and then people. But for Wonka, it worked because like it did really well, and people really liked it. But yeah, it was just weird. Like I remember either reading it or I saw a different trailer, something that I found out a while, because I was like, oh, that's gonna be fun, I'll go see it. And then like I found out it was a musical like months ago, and I was like, oh,
Never.
and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch that then.
It shouldn't have been remade. The first one's not broken. It still holds up. It's still a masterpiece. Shouldn't have done it. And then to make it a musical, why don't you just spit in my face while you're at it?
But John Hamm's
Horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only redeeming quality, is that John Hamm is in it.
Plus, if you're gonna redo it, at least do the gender swap and call it Mean Boys.
Mean Boys.
in it. Yeah, I know.
They wouldn't be like conniving though, because boys aren't conniving. They'd get in a fist fight and then be like, all right, I'm over it. You want to go grab a beer
That's
or
why
something?
It's funny.
I know. The movie would be
Yeah,
like 10
5
minutes
minutes.
long.
Yeah,
Yes.
them fighting.
Yeah.
Same thing when we were talking about the What Women Want movie, and then they remade it as What Men Want. I
Yeah.
said that movie would be like 5 minutes long,
Yeah.
because every woman already knows what men want.
The camera would like go between like the different men walking on the street and it'd be like food, sex, sex, food,
Rome.
sleep,
Yeah,
Rome, the Roman Empire.
There you go.
Food. And that would be it.
Yep.
It's not hard.
And the girl would be like, "Oh, I already knew all this. I didn't need to read
Yeah.
men's minds."
The end.
The end.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh Youngbar, and I have with me my co-host, Claudia,
Hello.
and Jered.
She's awake.
Ooh.
Are we starting with that one?
Well, we're only doing one intro, so
Yeah.
I figured. So.
Oh,
He's gonna
okay.
use go with a line.
She's awake.
So today we were gonna talk about the finale of Monarch, season 1, episode 10, and then we were also gonna kick off True Detective season 4, Night Country Part 1, because that's what we're gonna cover next.
It's feeling like night country where we live right now.
Yeah, I'm over
For
this
sure.
3-day Alaska free
sure.
trial that we have with the weather
3
right
day
now.
Alaska free
I'm
trial.
good.
Yeah. Can I cancel that free trial, please?
Cancel the subscription. I don't like it.
But before we get into those, we'll real quick cover some things we've been watching the last week, and we'll kick it over to Jered. What have you been watching? Anything?
I always take a drink right before you say that, and it's the worst time.
Best timing ever.
Yeah. Just 2 things.
Ooh, only 2 this time.
Yeah. I didn't want to do too much since I know we got a
Yeah,
lot that we're
double
covering.
feature here.
Yeah. And one of them, I think probably something that you checked out too.
Okay.
So I'll say that's a second.
All right.
So this is another new one that just started on Sunday. Yes, Sunday is Monsieur Spade.
Oh.
I can't
familiar with
I
this.
can't pronounce it right. It's French.
Jared's face after he pronounces things made me laugh.
Yeah. Hey, I almost nailed Day of the Dead on the Spectre Pod.
Oh,
I was
nice.
working on it.
You did good.
Nice.
It was all right. It's the best I did, because I still can't nail it. But anyway,
Yeah. Anyway.
why don't you give us one, a clean one, for the mic, clean take.
Dia de los Muertos.
See,
Yeah. Wasn't that good.
it's no, definitely not. Yeah, Monsieur Spade is what it's called.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound as good if you don't say it with the thing.
Monsieur.
Yeah, but of course,
But the
it's on
gas.
AMC Plus.
All right.
It is set in the 1950s. It's a sequel based on the Maltese Falcon. Are you guys familiar with the Maltese Falcon?
I am not.
Really?
I am, but yes.
Yeah. It was a book first, then it was like an old movie, right?
Yep.
In the 40s, I believe. So this like basically takes place a little bit after that, and it's Clive Owen playing what's his first name? His last name's Spade. I forget
I don't remember.
Anyway, I was excited for this, and it's great.
Oh, good.
So far, yeah.
So Clive Owen and the murder at the end of the world.
I'm glad he's doing a lot right now. Yeah, because he's awesome. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, again, it's the 1950s in France. But I want to watch the movie.
Clive Owen's not French.
No. No, he's not.
How's his accent?
Well, he goes there, so he's not.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So this is basically like he relocates there, kind of to like retire, but then obviously something happens, and
yeah.
you know.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah.
Investigate.
Yeah, exactly. But what I didn't know, I mean, I knew Maltese Falcon was like a big deal back in the day, but it was like one of the most famous detective type books.
Mm-hmm. The book
right?
is a classic.
Yeah, it's like one of
those books.
So it's based on that character.
I've never read, but it's one of those
I have
books
not.
That's
That's
they
why
make
I
you
thought
read
you
in
would-
school sometimes.
Yeah, I thought you would have been familiar with the book at least, Claudia.
No, Grace Academy deprived us
Yeah.
of the good books,
Mm.
so
Well,
I had to do those on my own.
You went to Grace, homeschool.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I had to research it a little bit, but I was familiar with the film at least. But okay. Then the second one, Death and Other Details.
Well, I
you?
did not start it. It's
Okay.
definitely on the list to watch.
I figured you would have because we were
it's
mentioning
really-
it.
Well, and it fits. I mean, it's like I don't know on execution, but like just going off the trailer, kind of has like a White Lotus
A little bit. Yeah.
slash Glass Onion kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. This
So-
is on Hulu.
Yeah.
I didn't watch much of it, but what's cool is they do a lot, even with the very opening, with like and there's even a person talking that is talking about like seeing things from different perspectives, and then what they do visually on screen like does that exact thing. So I'm like, it's cool going into it. It's like, all right, I guess I got to really be on the lookout for it seems like that's
Clues.
that's a big theme in this, which is cool. I really liked that visually what they did. I wasn't familiar with anyone in this show, but the main girl, the character's name is Imogen, and the actress name is Violet Bean. I don't know if she's been in anything else, but she's very good in this. And the first episode is one of the guys from Mad Men randomly, but he's like gained a lot of weight, and I was like, is this him? And it is him.
Oh.
Gotcha.
He's in it randomly, but anyway, that's the only person I recognize. But yeah, it's cool so far. It is definitely that vibe like you talked about, but I haven't seen much of it. But
Cool.
yeah, I wanted to at least mention it. I thought you would expand on it more because I thought you would have
Well, it
already.
was
Because I
definitely
know it seemed like you were
Definitely on the plan to
maybe next week then.
yeah, but I spent all day Saturday working, so
Okay.
so I
Yuck.
didn't have as much time to watch this over the weekend. So.
Well, I haven't really, besides what we're covering, like I haven't really, because I haven't watched much of either one of these that I mentioned, but that's it. So yeah.
Cool.
So you don't have much either?
Not a lot.
Okay.
I just want to touch. So we watched a movie called Role Play that's on Amazon. Premise was good. Again, I know we kind of talk about this a lot on the movie. The first act was decent. Like the setup, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. Terrible. Terrible.
This
It
is
goes
the-
downhill fast.
This is the girl from Big Bang, right?
Yes.
Who else is in it?
I've
I've never seen the cover. I haven't.
I'm trying to remember if anybody else, but like her husband. The premise is she is assassin, but he thinks she just like does this like travel job, and so he doesn't. And so she's been married. She's got like, they have like a adopted or like from his first marriage or something. Like she has like a teenage son, and then they have a girl. They got like, so like she's got older kids. So it's like she's been married for a while to this guy, and keeping the secret. And then of course things go south, and she has to, and he finds out and all that stuff. But and so like the setup was good because like the way things go south is interesting. And this slight spoiler, Again, I don't recommend watching it, but they try to spice things up because like their 10-year anniversary or something, and like so they try to spice, and they go to a hotel, and they play other characters to be like try to spice things up, and like they meet in the bar of the hotel, and it just turns out like there's this other guy that's been trying to find her to like kill her because there's a bounty on her head, and he finds them at the bar. So then there's all these so she ends up having to kill him at the hotel. Well, then the police investigate after that, and they're on like the security cameras that the last people he talked to, and then they look at, and then they're like, why'd you register in this other name? And then he's like, that
was a good setup.
Yeah, so like the setup was good, but then like the rest was bad.
Makes me think of the intro to Four Christmases.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
so good. I feel like recently with these kind of movies, like because you've mentioned a couple of them that are kind of similar to this recently, I feel like I can tell just by looking at the cover that I'm like, this is not going to be good.
It's like
I know you still like should check it out.
There's that balance, and these are this new one where it's like the romantic comedy / action movie,
right?
Is what they are. It's like they kind of mix the action in there too. The one with Chris Evans that was on Apple TV, yeah, like that one was much better, but like it's the same basic.
I heard it seemed like the script was written by AI for that movie.
Like it's.
I wanted to watch it though because of the two actors.
It was fun. It was a fun movie. That one was fun. Like it's still cheesy, but like but it knows it, and anyway, this one's just not good. But okay, and not getting any more time. Then watched the For All Mankind finale, season 4. Did you?
No, I'm very behind on that.
Very behind. I'll say it's still really strong.
Good.
We'd say it's. I think the finale. This was probably still like season 2 and 3's like finale.
They were the best.
Like those were so ridiculously
especially
good.
2.
They were both really good, and the whole season. And this season was good, but it was like not quite as strong as those two. But still good. And I mean, I'm hoping. The one thing is, I haven't seen anything about it being renewed. Which
I think it is. But then it's like, is it the 2010s next? Is that the?
Yeah,
they keep going every decade.
They jumped.
Which is weird. It's like pretty much present day.
I know the original the show creator, Ronald D. Moore, said that they had basically when they created, they had the premise for 7 seasons. So I hope
I'm sure they'll do it. It's Apple.
At this point, if they're going to do season 5, there's no reason they're going to do 6 and 7 and just. But anyway, it's still really good. Just not quite as good as the last 2 seasons, but still one of the really cool sci-fi shows.
Man, I don't remember the actor's name. It's the one robber from Home Alone. I like that he's in this season. Not Joe Pesci, the other one.
I'm trying to think where he's at in this season.
He's in the control room.
They must not show him very much.
I've only watched the first episode. He's in the first episode.
I don't.
Anyway, yeah, that's him.
I'm like, okay. I mean,
Marv,
I believe you.
Marv, is that who it is in Home Alone? That's his name.
I don't know his name.
But yeah.
And then the last thing I'm just going to mention is, because we've been talking about this, we got to the Prince episode of New Girl. So it is in season 3 of New Girl.
Okay.
Is the Prince episode.
Good.
Just watched it the other night, like 2 nights ago or something. But yeah. And
they're trying so hard not to lose their cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's okay. Just start crying.
Yeah. It's so great.
I would be the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it actually is Prince.
It is actually
Wow.
Prince.
Yeah, Prince is in and he's in it more than you would think. Like he's
nice.
Yeah. So
love that for him.
Yeah.
Fly high.
All right.
I don't have reality, but I do have a show to talk about.
All right.
It's an old one that I watched a very long time ago. And I just decided to rewatch it because the first time I saw it through, I wasn't intently paying attention.
Well, I started
but I was watching it. Yeah.
Because I never heard of it.
Yeah.
And you were like, what? You never heard of this show?
Yeah.
What?
It's called Big Love. and
It's
it
an
is
HBO
about
show
it's an
in
HBO
the
show
2000s.
and it's about a polygamist family that keeps their secret. They're like ex Mormon.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
But they
Utah,
still
obviously.
practice the faith. They just don't have like a group that they're with. They kind of
Is it a like reality based kind of
No.
show? So it's dramatized.
it's a drama. Yeah.
I've never heard of this either.
It
I didn't
has
either.
a
It
lot
was-
of good actors.
It has
in
a lot of good. That's why I checked it out. So it was like I think it started in 2005. So it's kind of that period before. So that'd be like right after Sopranos probably ended, or maybe around that, and then before obviously like all the Mad Men, Breaking Bad.
So Bill Paxton plays the husband.
Okay.
He has 3 wives:
Okay.
Chloe Sevigny,
Okay.
Jennifer Goodwin,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
Jean Triplehorn
Yeah.
are all of his wives.
Oh wow. All
Right. They have children. Amanda Seyfried
yeah.
is in it, like young.
Yeah, it's
Amanda.
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
the
one of the
cast.
kids.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've
Yeah.
never heard of this.
Yeah.
neither.
It's,
How many seasons is this? One
5,
season?
I think.
5 seasons.
What?
Yes.
Five
Yes.
seasons.
And I'm still on. Like I think I just finished episode 5 of season 1. And like I'm
It is
watching it.
interesting.
It
Does
is
it
very
hold up?
interesting.
Does it hold up? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd say it holds up.
the story, yeah.
Yeah.
There's just some stuff in it that's pretty cheesy the way
Oh,
they do it. But I mean, it's 2005.
Right. It's still like a solid HBO show,
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh yeah.
And it's just hilarious. Like, I mean, there's a lot. It's very dramatic. It's not supposed to be funny, but you're watching it and you're like,
They have 3 houses.
3 houses that they live in a neighborhood. Each wife has a house. Okay. And the wives meet at the beginning of the month and they decide their calendar on who has bill for the night. Right.
Wow.
So
It's crazy.
they alternate nights. And like Bill will be like rubbing up on a wife and she's like, no, it's her night tonight. And she'll, and and they get
Wow.
really like, they get jealous of each other. And I'm like, yeah, because you're not supposed to have 3
Well,
wives.
here's the thing also. My only response when we started watching this and like you see a scene of him just like being like just so frustrated. I'm like, my man, you did this to
Yes,
yourself.
correct.
Yes.
Correct. You're a glutton for punishment, dude.
Like that's what I always thought. I was like, how that can't be. That's got to be 3 times harder or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
One's hard enough, my guy. It's hard enough making it work with one woman. Am I right?
Because because yes, the man brain might be simple but the woman's brain is very complex.
Enigma.
Yeah. And it's like he just walks around and like one wife will be like, I told you I needed blah blah blah. Okay, honey. And then I'll go to the next one and she'll be like, did you forget?
Right.
And I mean, it's just
Dude,
like that's
this
the whole
guy
story.
is just like, yeah,
You're
like,
like instead of having one honey to do list, you have
you've
3.
got 3 of them, and all the children that
There's
come
so
with
many
it.
kids.
So the first wife has 3,
When they
second wife has
and
2.
I assume that I think because the other reason why because they don't believe in birth control, right?
Right.
oh
So,
yeah.
like the faith
Yeah.
that they have. So like that's another. Even if you only have one wife in this situation, they have a lot of kids because they
Yeah.
right.
First wife has 3, second wife has 2, and I think the newest wife, the third, I think she has 2 as well. So he has what, like 7 kids at
By
this
the
point?
way, I think coming up soon, because I think it might be the next episode you're about to watch. Like, it says in the episode description that he's starting to talk about a 4th wife.
Oh yeah,
like,
I already watched that one.
Dude, oh, did
Yeah.
you?
So I was about to say that.
Man.
So because you said the newest one, I'm like, so how's this go? Like when you're like, so what? Obviously
you guys think
have
of it?
one, so like even going from the 2
Yeah.
to 3, you're like, so you have to sit down with both of them and be
Right.
like, so what do you think about adding the third to this?
Yeah.
mix?
In their faith, it's like the more wives, the better. Kind of, it's like a blessing to be bringing on. So, like when the idea of a new wife coming in is introduced, for the most part, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a blessing!" We're so excited. And I'm calling BS on all of you women. Okay, there's no way that you're like, "Oh yes, please bring another one, so I get one less night to have sex with you." That's ridiculous. That doesn't make it. We're not supposed to share, is what I'm trying to say, and I won't, is what I'm saying. But
You're
also,
like, I won't.
but also,
I mean, like Solomon, right? King Solomon,
King Solomon
Yeah.
had many wives,
way more than 3.
way more than
Oh
3.
yeah.
Yes,
In biblical times, yeah, that was.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that they didn't just pass him off like each night. It's like whatever he feels like doing. They have like a schedule,
Oh, I know.
and a certain amount of money. All of the money that they make goes into one, sort of thing.
Right.
And if somebody needs new curtains, they have to consult. And he has a business that he owns.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a hardware store.
It's like a Lowe's. He has 2 of them now.
But then he kind of mentions like comparing it to Walmart.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
I
Which
guess.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he owns like 2 of them now or something.
Yeah, he
or,
owns 2.
But
So
still, I'm like, dude, I don't think that's going to be enough for what you need.
yeah. And in the first
Well,
episode, he's struggling with erectile dysfunction. So he's like going through the nights and
Oh yeah, I forgot.
he's going
about
through
that.
like the first night and he's just like, sorry, it's just not. It's not working. The wife's like, okay, and then the next night, same thing. They're all getting like shut down because he just can't.
Well, the second episode, he's just popping Viagra then.
No, yeah, the dude, like, once he gets them, they're like, oh my
Dude,
gosh, where did this
The
come
show
from?
is unhinged.
It is so unhinged. It's so fun. I mean, I'm having
It
such
is
a good time
entertaining.
watching it. It's
is, like,
very entertaining.
Yeah, it's funny. I just never heard of it, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Right now, he's having an affair with one of the wives, like having
What?
her on days when it's not
when
supposed
it's not
to be her
supposed to?
day.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, this is
Wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
And he has a buddy who's like, yeah, we just brought in I brought in my 4th, and it's been great. The wives have really taken to her.
I'm sure they
the talk,
have.
and it's just so funny to me. The whole idea.
The whole
but it's
culture
like
is just
it's a secret
crazy.
because obviously it's illegal.
Right.
So they have.
Yeah, they started the show with that, like talking
Yeah.
about whenever
They need to be discretion is their like biggest thing because they don't want their neighbors to be talking. So
Well, I guess what part of it is illegal? Like technically to be married to them, but if he's not married to more than one, or even any of them, from a state standpoint,
yeah,
Which he's not. Yeah, it's
he's
just
not. It's just the first wife.
yeah.
and so the rest of them,
It's
are,
more just image then.
through their faith or church, whatever. There's like, but otherwise, then there's nothing illegal about because you can sleep with many people. There's nothing illegal about sleeping with other people,
Right.
From
I
a
don't know
state standpoint,
what the like on
Morally, it's a
polygamy,
different thing.
like how are they able to like get somebody if it's illegal for polygamy? You know what I mean?
It has to. It's probably has to do with just the image he has, because then they also go to that compound.
Yeah, it's wildly frowned upon, like in the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah, I mean,
very well
Obviously.
known. He's very well known.
obviously
Yeah.
people are gonna
Yeah, like
judge you,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but I mean, like,
as a public figure in the
which I
community.
guess
Yeah,
is
he's
probably
very-
why they keep it need to keep it secret.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
that makes more
Their
sense.
story is like his house with his first wife that's his wife and his children. The house next door is a single mother that rents from them, and the other lady, she's just another single mother that moved
Babysitter.
in.
Or he says,
she
like,
she
babysitter.
babysits
Yeah.
sometimes at the house. It's like very like muddy and like you can see the neighbors being like a little suspicious about it.
And then you're like, and then he just bought the 4th house, and another single mom moved in there.
One of his wives is like the cult leader's daughter too, and they butt heads.
Oh,
It's like
right.
a whole thing. Chloe Sevigny, she's the daughter of like
That's right.
the main prophet. They call him the prophet.
Oh wow!
And
Who just took on a girl that is how old?
15
And he's
as a wife, the newest wife.
And he's like 70,
Oh, dude's like knocking on
maybe 80.
That's the
death's door. Yeah. And she's like, it was
Wow.
my choice. She walks around.
Crazy.
It's absolutely insane. Like some of the stuff is very serious and horrible and
Yeah.
like sheds light on the horrible practices of that community, like that still probably go on today, unfortunately.
It's all Utah.
But yeah, we see you, Utah. Knock it off over there.
Anyway, I didn't think we would spend the most time
I know.
on this show.
I recommend it though. If you want
Yeah.
like a good like kind of drama type
Yeah.
show, it's good.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check it out sometime.
Yeah.
big
Add-
love.
add it to the
HBO.
list. Add
Big
it to the
love.
list. All right, we want to get into.
Sorry, real quick. I wanted
Here goes Jered with the sorry real quick.
no, not another show, but I wanted to.
I actually had 4 on my list.
Yeah, actually, I got 10 more. No, I wanted to mention one, which I think one episode we should have we should do just like looking at what's coming up for this year and talk about what we're excited about. I just have one I wanted to mention because there's a lot of really good. Shout out to Apple again. We shout them out a lot. There's a lot of really good Apple shows coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But one in particular I wanted to mention that
One of them,
Claudia's going to love this.
Yes.
You know,
The fashion one.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So it's called The New Look.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming out on February 13th. Takes place in the 1940s. This is about Coco Chanel, Christian Dior, Pierre Balmain, and Cristobal Balenciaga changing the industry because
yeah.
during the war.
Mhm.
Wow.
It looks
Yeah.
sick. I just saw
I'm
the trailer.
so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I love that Apple's doing just random
Also,
shows like this.
just since we're talking about that, I just saw they just started doing basically started production, so to speak. They started doing the table reads for Shrinking season 2.
Yes.
Just started that. Yeah.
I mean, we
Very
haven't
cool.
finished the first season, but I'm glad that it's still going.
So that means that it'll probably come out later this year then, if
Yeah.
because I mean, table reads
That
is-
one doesn't, and that doesn't take as long
to
to.
film and stuff now because they're
Doesn't have a long
not like tons of
VFX and all. that.
yeah. But yeah, so I was excited to see that too.
Yeah.
Because I was like, "Ooh, that means it's coming out." And then Hack season 3 is supposed to come out this spring. They don't have
Nice.
a date yet, but it's supposed to be the spring, which is another one I know I'm
Yeah.
excited for.
There's some other Apple ones I saw recently that I'm like, this looks sick. And it's because, again, they're like one of the biggest that can afford it, but there's
Yeah.
some good stuff coming up.
Well, and then they basically run they've hired the 2 guys from Sony that basically did a lot of the shows like Mad Men and Breaking Bad for AMC.
Man.
That's how they started with those guys. But then they also pulled in, and they have exclusivity with the guy that was running all the stuff for HBO before HBO got bought out the last 2 times. Like now they're on the second.
Wow. I didn't know that.
So they have the like some of the where you think
The best.
prestige TV
Yep.
from like the AMC early days with Mad Men and then also the HBO stuff for the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
And they basically have those people pulling shows in for them. So making kind of decision on what should be and shouldn't be done.
There's one random that I was like, this is so cool. And like one called Manhunt that's just about like the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. I'm like, dude, just like random stuff they're doing like this, but you know it's going to be like high budget, like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's just, yeah.
Well, and then, I mean, just this last year, you got Scorsese and
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, yeah.
Yep.
The movies. It's like,
Yeah.
but they got the money, so.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that one
Yeah.
because I forgot to even tell Claudia about it, and I knew she'd be pumped.
Yeah, I'm ready for that for sure.
Yeah.
February 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a good month.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Not as good as March, but not a bad month.
Oh.
Oh.
What about September?
It's okay.
Meh.
I don't really think about it.
Man.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
All right, let's get into
Let's do it.
let's wrap things up with Monarch first here. So episode 10, Beyond Logic. We have a little IMDb. The team struggles to find a way out of the Axis Mundi, and Kentaro and Tim make an unexpected alliance.
Claudia's face right now. She's so excited.
All right, so what'd you guys think of the finale? Which everything I'm saying since season finale, so
Yeah.
that leaves the potential that there's another season. But I also have not seen anything about it being renewed for season
Me
2.
either.
So
They definitely set it up for
they definitely left things hanging enough
Yeah.
that they could do that. So thoughts? You seem eager to speak over there.
Yeah.
I mean, so much excitement. Jered can tell you all about our household watching that episode. Best episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's like I was watching a football game.
Yeah.
At the TV, yelling.
All right, nice.
Yeah,
You had a lot of fun with it.
I did. Fantastic.
I agree. It was definitely first episode and last episode, I think, were the two best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah. It was let's say it's like a surprised. How it seemed like it was not a lot of plot happen, and then it was just like, but still very entertaining. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but like a. All right, let's get into spoilers with it. Because first of all, like, I guess to my point there, we only see 2015 basically until the very end.
Yeah.
So now it's a flip of, I mean, then there's like the underspace where we don't really know what time, what year, you know, I mean, like whatever.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff takes place in there where we've of course pick up where we left off in the last episode with Kiko and meeting, like really having the dialogue with Kate and them talking and talking how she's the one she's like, I knew you'd come find me. I'd set the signal. Of course, she has no idea it's been 50 years or whatever it's been. And then, like I said, so then they quickly run into randomly, like this kind of stuff is just convenient, right?
Yeah, it is.
They run into Shaw and May then very, very quickly shortly after. But then that scene was, again, very much like last episode. I thought that scene was really good, where like her reactions to finding out all this information, right? Like how long it's been, then finding out Bill was dead, and then finding out that she has a granddaughter.
It's a lot to
that's
unpack.
Right there.
Yeah.
Is Bill dead though?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he didn't die. We didn't actually see him dead on screen.
I didn't see him die. So, and if we know anything about this show, no one's actually dead,
right,
really.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well.
Yeah.
Assumed dead, right?
Assumed.
Yeah. But I thought the actress that plays Kiko, like she
was really good.
She's definitely one of the strongest in the show, if not the strongest. Very good. Yeah, the emotion she shows is really good.
Dang, better than Kurt Russell.
I mean,
Kurt Russell's doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
but
is.
Like, it's
no, I know. He's just,
but I was gonna say we didn't get any Wyatt Russell in this episode, but
I know.
no,
because no flashbacks to the
yeah.
I think that's the first time I've ever felt that way about Wyatt Russell. I really like him in this show.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't really like him in anything else.
yeah.
Really?
The only other thing I've seen him in was in like he plays kind of a nasty dude, so you're like, yeah, you don't like him, but he's supposed to be that.
But he plays the Captain America.
Wait, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, that one. Okay, yeah.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like they try to set it up, but then you realize like he just doesn't have that like natural good guy there.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
He's really good in the movie Overlord. And then there was an AMC show called Lodge 49 that he was the main actor in. And you would like him in that because he's he's like a surfer. And he's like really chill, and like that show is cool.
Never saw either that movie or the show.
Yeah.
So as then Shaw sees that she has the device, right? So then he's like, "Hey, can you turn this back, and that can draw a Titan, so then we can use the thing he knows that got left in there of his when he came there to like travel back, and they'll try to get back. So then they have to move it over, and it takes them a while to move it.
Yeah.
And then they get it over there, and they get things set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they call for a Titan, and of course, it calls the dragon-looking Titan first.
Mm-hmm.
That's like nearby, and things go wrong. So then he has to. Oh, and so as they start to get, Kiko just decides to kind of let him know she's going to stay, and then
Kate's
then
like, no.
Kate has to talk her into it.
Yeah.
Which was good. And then obviously then things don't go smoothly. So then we get Shaw having to get out and try to reconnect a cable. And then it starts to get sucked because Godzilla shows up.
Godzilla comes in.
So that scene was, so that was kind of the first like cool scene, right? Like that, like up to that point, it's just them moving around that, like,
yeah.
And but yeah, that when you start to get the Dragon Titan and then Godzilla.
Titan versus Titan was what I was waiting for this entire season. I was jumping up and down. I mean, like, Godzilla walks in like, who woke me up? I'm ready to, you know, coming in.
It was really cool looking the way he kind of came through the thing. Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Yes. And like as they're doing the fight scene, you know, he's like ripping fingers off and stuff. I'm at the edge of the couch like, do it. Like I'm waiting for him to breathe the fire down his throat because that's like the Godzilla move, right? The like down in the, and it was just like, I was screaming. I was like so excited. Jared's like laughing at me. I'm like, you know.
It was funny because you were like how you'd be like watching football on
Oh
TV.
man,
Yeah.
I was so excited. It was awesome. So
Yeah, it was a really fun scene.
It was awesome.
Watching this Titans fight.
I guess it would have been a little back from that when Shaw and Kiko sit down and start like talking a little bit.
Mhm.
When they take a break from
moving the stuff,
moving.
moving
Yeah.
the thing. Yep.
There's a point where she's asking about like what's 2015 like now.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I mean, his response was just good, but then he says something about like, let me say, oh, we got these phones now that can do anything, and like I was just picturing like pointing at the screen like, thanks Apple
I know,
for
right?
making this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it was funny how they like because they can't really do product like because they Apple shows they put a bunch of Apple stuff in it, but you can't really do that with this show. I mean, I guess they could in 2015, but you don't really
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't really
But
see it in this.
You don't see it as much.
Not even the phones look like. No, they don't look like iPhones now. I'm thinking about it.
Well, they were all using like burner flip phones
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
true.
like to try to. But yeah, there's way less product placement. In this
Yeah,
than
there
is.
than a lot of their
Definitely.
a lot of shows because
It's like the morning show. It's like Apple everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, even for All Mankind, they do like
Old
alternate-
Apple stuff, which is cool.
alternate like weird
Yeah.
old Apple stuff.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff's cool. Yeah, to
Yeah,
see that.
they have fun with that on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then the ball ship thing starts.
Whatever. I don't know. what it's
Whatever
called.
that you want to call it, starts getting sucked in
Yeah.
to the portal, and Shaw's not quite in, and he gets left behind.
Yeah. Left behind. He makes Kiko let go of his hand.
Yeah,
It's okay. Leaves.
yeah,
Poor Lee. He really can't catch a break with Kiko, can he?
Nope.
no,
He's just really not meant to be with her. I mean, really not.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I was also surprised she didn't really even comment much on like the way he looks now.
I
You
mean,
know?
she like touched his face and stuff.
But like,
yeah.
I thought she would have.
I mean, you have to
said
think
more about it.
all of the information she's
that's
processing in
true.
her brain.
That's the least of the.
I know she's probably just like, I mean, your brain can only take so much. You have to
Yeah.
filter it out, sift it, filter it, sift it before you can really like, it'll hit her later, I'm sure.
Mm.
So before we jump to like the ending stuff, then we have up on Earth, we have Tim leaves Monarch because they won't
Mm-hmm.
do what he thinks they should do because they're still being stupid, and he tracks down Kentaro and Hiroshi, and they're kind of talking, and then finally they're like, well, if Monarch's going to do it, we can't. How? And he's like, well, there are other people that will.
There's other game in town.
Yeah, other people that are really interested in funding something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that's kind of where they leave that. So then we flash to like the little ball sphere ship
Yeah.
thing popping out and
Mhm.
showing up, right?
Somewhere on Earth.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, okay. And then of course when you're watching, you're like, well, how much time has passed?
Yes.
You don't know.
That's the next question.
Yeah.
That's
You're
on
like-
your mind for
Yeah.
sure.
And then you're like, is it going to be the future? It's going to, like whatever.
How
like,
far in the future?
And
We definitely see devices that we haven't seen.
right, so
Before.
like definitely looks like a newer technology.
Yes.
But then like Kentaro and Hiroshi and Tim are all there
Mhm.
to greet them, and then we find out it's 2017.
Mhm.
It's only 2 years roughly. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
what month in those years, but
Sure.
but then we see May's old boss,
Mhm.
and then you realize, oh, that's the other
Yes.
wealthy.
That's the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering because like, what happened to this other company? Like, it didn't come back to the very end,
Right.
right? That they
Like,
set up.
again, it's the clunky writing of the show. Like it's not as smooth as it could have been, and more. But yeah, it's like okay, that's where that thread is supposed to end up. But then they start to have to evacuate their little research facility or whatever it is. Yes, and then we get it.
They're like leaving. They're like, we gotta go. Why?
Well,
Why?
we
gotta go.
they say the company's name first, and then it says Skull Island.
It says Skull Island, like base.
Yeah,
for
which
the
is
company.
Cool. They do that first,
And then you just off in the distance hear like, doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. And I'm like, again, I mean, like on my toes on the couch.
This is the best part.
Yeah, Jared's gonna walk you through this.
Claudia gets up, and simultaneously,
I'm like shouting, "Who is it? Show it to me! Show it to me!"
And she didn't even know that King Kong was going to do this, but Claudia stands up, and then she just starts beating her chest the same time that King Kong does.
And then he goes like this,
And I am dying laughing on this because
Jered, I think I broke Jered.
Yeah,
I mean, he was laughing for like a solid 3 minutes, like tears.
Yeah.
And I was just like, let's like beating the couch down. Like I was so excited. I was waiting this whole again, Titan versus Titan, and I wanted to see King Kong. And then I literally got into work today and I was like, Mom, oh my gosh, I'm still riding the high of last night. And I'm like, she's like, all right, that's great, Claudia. I was just, because I just love this. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And it looked awesome.
Yeah.
He's huge. He's ready. We need a second season because then I think we'll get more of him, obviously, if they're going to be on Skull Island.
Are they actually on Skull Island now? Because I thought they didn't actually transport there.
If that's the base, then I would assume
it is Skull Island, but
yeah,
I thought that just means they're researching Skull Island.
No,
they're
there.
They're
Okay.
there.
I think they're there. I mean,
that's what I thought it was.
Because
They have a base there.
Because wherever they can come back wherever. I mean, like,
yeah, that's true.
Where Shaw came back was in Japan or whatever, and he didn't go down in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they popped out. Now it seemed like also in that did you notice how they were going through the portal and then they got sucked to the side?
Yeah, they did.
So I think that was whatever tech that they had was a way to like draw them there draw them there specifically. So I think it was something developed
to harness it now,
or control it a little bit more.
The direction
where they go.
Ooh.
So
oh boy.
Yeah. So and then of course to your point earlier about Bill, I mean he disappeared on that island.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's there somewhere.
I was going to say, I mean, the next season, if they start, it could start up with them. Hey, Bill's here.
Yeah, well, John Goodman comes back and plays.
Yeah,
right.
but he looked like John Goodman in the 70s. So he's going to look.
Unless he went to the other side.
Yeah, there's no way they can make him look like that unless
he somehow was like in the underspace.
He was down there also.
Yeah, Axis Mundi or whatever.
Yeah, Axis Mundi.
I mean, I hope they do, because also I'm thinking, I don't think Kurt Russell's going to be anymore. He probably signed on for just one season, and that's why they did it like that.
Unless they need to do some flashbacks, they could bring Wyatt Russell, but he could just be, he died in that right there, and then and yet Kurt Russell's not anymore. But like again, John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not? But anyway, I hope they do a second season, because I think something like this, there's strengths in like the production, strengths in like some of the, but then there's also I would hope that they would be like, oh, but here's where we could improve, and then do a second season and it'd be a lot stronger. Because if you tighten up the story, like the writing and stuff on that, it could be a really good show.
Yeah, that's the only thing preventing it from being awesome.
Yeah.
That, I mean, like, if I was recommending this show to anybody, I'd be like, just kind of hang on for the middle section. There's a lot of stuff that's unnecessary. But, the story as a whole is good, and it gets really good towards the end, and, it starts off strong.
But the problem is a lot of the main characters we don't like still.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But now that Kiko's in,
Kiko's great.
Some of that's probably the writing too.
Yeah. No, they could make him better.
So they could. That's what I'm saying. Like, so they can improve, if they can improve some of the writing, even get different people to write some of the episodes.
Yeah.
That they did this. Anyway, but it's either way. I think a second season would still be fun.
Yeah. No, I hope they do. I am bummed we didn't get to see that fight up close. We only saw it on the TV with
Mothra.
Yeah, with Mothra.
I know. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming if the show carries on, we'll get more Titans for sure. Especially being on Skull Island now.
Yeah.
Get some cool, hopefully more Titan versus Titan fights, because that would just be next level. I could just watch that all day. Like, just make a show of Mortal Kombat with Titans instead.
But see, that's what we want the show to be. But it's like they can't do that because it'd be too expensive.
Right.
It'd take years to make.
Yeah.
Just on the CGI alone, just making all that.
Yeah.
But
man,
because now
I have to watch all the Godzilla movies in order.
Well, and they have a decent amount throughout this whole season, but I still think there's not as much as I thought there would be.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing the Titans, for it being
I feel
about
like
it.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably more than I was expecting. Because
really?
I just thinking it's a TV show budget. Even though I know there's still a good budget,
it's Apple.
It's like,
they can.
I was like, you write this so that you do the minimal because of it.
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know.
No, I know. It's like they can't have him in every episode for sure. Yeah, that whole middle section was nothing really, right? Yeah, because it was all backstory.
I mean, just maybe little flashbacks of Godzilla,
little moments,
or scenes on TVs of Titans and stuff like that. But yeah, by the time the next season comes out, your girl's gonna know the lore.
Yeah.
Okay, just don't worry about it.
She will. She'll know it all.
I'm gonna know all of it because this has
You
got
guys
me.
see Godzilla?
This has got me up here.
You guys see -1? That's apparently
I do.
the best.
I know.
Yeah, everyone's saying that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aaron saw it 100 times already.
Of course he did.
So he's like, next time you guys do a Godzilla movie, can I be on the podcast? I was like, I gotta get it by the bosses because I don't run it. But he's very knowledgeable about the franchise.
Oh yeah, it's his favorite thing.
He'd be
he
really
knows
good guest for it.
Okay.
But,
well, the film side we do it all based on directors, so it'd just be who's
right.
There's a lot of different directors.
And so it'd just be if somebody we wanted to cover actually did a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Any last thoughts on this?
No.
I feel like
I'm
said,
up here. I'm
like
still
covered
in
hopefully there's
euphoria.
a second season because I don't know why they haven't said anything. I thought they would when the finale came out.
Yeah. I'm really hoping. I really am because I really have high hopes. I think if they can just hone in on their strengths for the show, like you said.
Don't make it 10 episodes like we were talking about, you know?
There's
Second
a lot of
season?
unnecessary stuff. If they can cut that stuff out, it's going to be awesome. It'd be really good.
Yeah, again, it's like it was the premise, the idea, let's see, the flashback idea of getting more depth on each character when done well works great.
Yes.
When you think of Lost and things like that and that's kind of what they wrote in there to do, hey, let's have these backstory episodes but in execution in this show, they didn't do a good job in writing that well enough that I think they just end up being more boring than anything. But yeah. Cool. Well, that's it for that. Hopefully there's a season 2. Now moving on to True Detective. Night Country, Part 1.
Oh, no names. Just going to be Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
There's no
6.
titles for the episodes. Just so first of all, the whole show is written by Issa Lopez.
Did she direct all of them too?
I don't think so. I didn't check, but I think I saw something saying she directed a lot of the episodes, but not all of them. But
I listened to an interview with her.
She did direct this one.
Okay.
I also looked up what else she has directed before this, and there's nothing that I've seen or heard that was on that list. It's not a lot, but she has done some things, but nothing I was familiar with at all.
It's amazing that they let her do True Detective.
True. I mean, there might be something in that that's really strong.
Yeah.
That she did already. That then they enough to be okay, we'll let you do this. But I'm sure the fact that whatever idea she pitched and then wrote, probably was at least strong enough that then they're okay, we're gonna let you do this. But so I think you guys have seen the other seasons, right?
Yes. Well, which ones did I watch? Because there's one.
You watched the first season.
I only watched the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you've seen season 1 of True
I
Detective,
have.
but not 2 and 3.
Not 2 and 3.
And you've seen all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never seen any.
Oh, okay.
This is my first one.
Yeah.
This is good. A lot of different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just kind of want to set that up for.
Well, we should also just. I'm sure most people know, but it's an anthology show, so you don't need to.
Yeah. All of you
Correct.
screaming at me at home that you didn't watch 2 and 3. You don't really have to.
Or I haven't watched any until now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
Yeah, but there might be some connections.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so we have in our main cast here, Jodie Foster, legend.
She's the man. She really is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Man.
she is a legend.
and then Callie Race. I don't know how you say her last name. Is playing the other main trooper, Navarro.
She didn't look familiar to me.
She didn't. So she's like a boxer or fight, some kind of MMA fight. She's a fighter.
You don't say.
And you can see it. I know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Like I saw that after watching
Yeah.
that episode. Like
the girl's
So
jacked.
she hasn't done any acting.
not a lot.
Till
Like,
now?
I think she did one other thing or something. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she doesn't have a lot of experience. We have Fiona Shaw playing Rose. I forget how you say his last name, but and then we have Finn Bennett as Officer Peter Pure,
Mm-hmm.
Isabel Star LeBlanc as Leah Danvers, and then John Hawkes as Captain Hank Pure.
That's the other guy I recognized.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
Yeah, he's the dad and
Mm.
the police
Uh-huh.
officer.
Yep.
The mail order wife.
Yes, with the Russian bride.
We're getting
He's
married.
best known as
Oh, gosh.
Kenny Powers' brother in Eastbound and Down.
Mm.
All right, so our synopsis for part 1. In Ennis, Alaska, the men that operate a research station vanish. To solve the case, detectives Danvers and Navarro will have to confront the darkness themselves and dig into the haunted truths that lie buried under the eternal ice.
Mm.
All right, so just no spoilers initially. Overall, just thoughts on this first episode.
I mean, it hooks you for sure. It's the classic, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, and I gotta know what's going on first episode, where you're like, all right, well, I guess I gotta watch the rest of this because it's just so gripping. You have no idea. You could have some, ideas where you think this could be, but this show's typically really good at what you think is happening really isn't. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited too for it because it was a pretty strong start and it set up the mystery well. By the way, to preface this, I don't want to compare it to season 1 at all because that's just like one of the best seasons of all time. But yeah, it's better at setting it up than the other seasons as well, which is nice. It seems a little more closer to what True Detective is supposed to be, which is great. I'm glad it's feeling more like how it originally was created. Although the creator of the show is not involved anymore. He stopped actually after season 1. But yeah, it's good. I like that. I like that's going to be shorter too. I was surprised by that. 'Cause I didn't know going into that. I was looking up the
It's only
6 episodes. Yeah, the rest of the seasons have been 8.
6 parts.
6 parts. Yeah. So are they doing the thing where they're like, this is a 6-hour movie? You know, like people do that. I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's a promising start for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
so for me, I mean, I think solid.
With no knowledge of True Detective at all. Yeah, I'm
it was
interested
I think it was a solid setup from a intriguing like mystery, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think also a great setup on like what it would feel like to be in a small town like that and be like and just like we're like almost like everybody knows everybody because it's just there's not that many people. I think they did a really good job of just like you feel that, and then also the feeling of like which the subtitle Night Country. I think that also just fascinating. To like I was looking at, I think it was like 20 weeks that they go without sunlight.
No, it's
Thought it was a month.
it's like a little over a month. Yeah.
Maybe it was 20 days. I don't know. I thought it was. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
There
it's
may
not
be
like
certain parts that go that long, but I think in this particular, it's a month.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Like
it goes
that movie,
like
30 Days of Night
Mhm.
about the vampires.
Yeah,
It's like a similar.
because
I think.
the show opens with that very last sunset.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Can you imagine? First of all, let's just touch on that for a second.
This is
No.
Claudia's nightmare.
This is my nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, I would literally be going crazy, genuinely. In the
Right.
freezing cold too.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
You'd be the person shaking at the beginning.
Yes, I would.
Well, what I was gonna say, watching it, you kind of forget. I mean, they set that up, but then you kind of forget for a little bit, and then like halfway through the episode, it's like dawned on me. I'm like, oh wait, that's right. This could be another day.
What
you have no sense of time.
What time is
because
it?
it's
Yeah.
dark all the time. And then you're like, I don't even know how many days have gone by because things are just happening, and then more things are happening, and it's just dark all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And
First
then-
of all, I hate being cold. Second of all, I hate when it's dark early in the day, let alone it dark constantly. I would probably just have to sleep the whole time. Wake up like an hour or two to do normal things and then just go back to sleep for me to just have any sort of sense of sanity.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I probably drink a lot too, like these people do.
Yeah, they do.
Genuinely.
So let's get into it. So we open with the last sunset for the year, and there's a guy hunting reindeer, and something spooks the reindeer,
And they all
and they just jump off
kill
a cliff.
themselves.
Yes.
And I was like, I made a joke. I was like, well, that's what I would do if it was like, all right, it's about to be dark for 30 days. Bye. Yeet. Just jump right off.
Actually, I want to start with the quote at the beginning and see what you guys think it means.
Yeah, go ahead.
For we do not know what beasts the night dreams when its hours grow too long for even God to be awake. That's what the show starts with.
Such a good opening quote.
There's a name attached to it too, which I didn't look up what if it's from anything, but yeah. So yeah, what do you think about
Nights
that?
are too long
What is
for
that
even
setting?
God to?
Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with like a person's internal struggle. Like maybe originally this quote, like when darkness is too long for even God to stay awake, meaning that, when you're hurting for so long, how some people are like, well, God doesn't care. God doesn't care because I'm still in this horrible mess. And when you're in such a dark, deep rut like that for so long, crazy things start to happen to you, mentally. Probably something to do with that.
Yeah.
Because, and then it just goes with literally being dark for so long and just things. Because they were like, it's only day 3 and I'm already getting called for missing people,
Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff already. Who knows where they're going to be at like 10, 20 days into this.
It seems like
Period.
it's from the quote. It seems like it's setting up the sanity of everyone and how that's going to change drastically.
Yeah, absolutely.
As this, I guess it's going to probably go over the whole month, I imagine.
Oh, I would
Maybe.
assume because it's doing kind of a countdown thing, right, with the days.
Yeah, sure. The days. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So then from that we go and we are introduced to these 8 men that are working in the research station, and they, are just like are all hanging out doing their thing, and then we see the delivery guy show up, and he's got their Funyuns and whatnot.
Oh, Funyuns.
and no one's there. And then he's like, what? And then he finds a tongue.
Yep. Well,
A lone tongue.
before that, the guy's like making a sandwich on TikTok. It looks like, and
Yeah,
then
like I'm
the guy-
live.
and the guy behind him starts freaking out,
That's true.
Yeah, he's like,
and then stops and says she's awake.
she's awake.
Oh, right.
Turns around.
Right. She's awake. Yeah.
You hear that throughout the episode a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, of course, we're introduced to our lead officers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're investigating what's the Beatles song is playing over and over from
Swiss and Shout from Ferris Bueller.
Yes.
We're from
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller. Yes.
She walks in immediately and is like,
This is
Not
gotta
a
go.
Beatles
No.
fan. Yeah.
not a Beatles fan, okay?
That when she's in there though, I was thinking about this. I was looking at all the DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting stuff on there. By the way, because we're always going to mention Seinfeld, there's one season of Seinfeld I saw.
Based.
I know. I don't know which season, which I was trying to figure out which one. But the other thing, though, which this show very much reminded me of, is the movie The Thing.
Mm.
And that movie is on the shelf. And that one actually is very prominently displayed, which makes sense because this has a
Yeah.
very similar theme to that movie. So that was cool. I couldn't tell the other movies.
Yeah, that's cool.
They got a PS5 though.
Right, because she's
Priorities.
like, "Where's the funding coming from this place?"
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they don't find anything other than, is this when she finds the whiteboard that says "We're all dead" or whatever?
Yeah.
Which is like, I know this is like all I can think of is Monty Python, where they're like
Oh, yeah.
in the cave, and then there's like, and then like they're reading it, and then it goes, ah, and then he's like, maybe he was writing that and he started to die, and they're like,
Oh yeah, and then it goes,
yeah. And then the guy's like, if he was dying, he couldn't write, and then he's like, maybe he was dictating it.
Dude, I forgot about that section of that movie.
But that made me think of this because they're like, who writes "We're all
Right.
dead" if you're all dead? And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. That
Right.
that was what came to mind. I know it's not
That's funny.
related in any way other because
Yeah.
it's a totally different type of thing. But
Yeah, I need to watch that movie again.
I know.
It's
It
been
has
a
been a
minute,
while.
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, it's a classic.
It is.
Yeah. So then we're also introduced to the other trooper, Danvers, and she's like, "Hey, I heard there's a tongue."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Navarro, is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Danvers is Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Danvers. Oh, sorry, introduced to Navarro. Yeah,
Mhm.
and Danvers is like trying to keep it kind of hush hush
Mm-hmm.
because she evidently got a little obsessed.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention one thing with the interview I listened to with the creator or of the season is she had Jodie Foster in mind anyway when she wrote this, and she said obviously she put a little bit of Clarice Starling in her character for this, which is awesome. So I'm glad
Wow.
that they
Yeah.
she's aware of that and put it into the character. Yeah, very different character though, which I'm glad. Like she's not
Right.
just Clarice, but
Yeah.
it's cool that she said there is a little bit of that in her
It
character.
is cool.
Yeah.
And then we're also introduced, like, kind of Navarro introduced when she's dealing with the domestic dispute kind of thing
Mhm.
at some kind of factory or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing crabs.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. They're doing crabs, and then like,
Yeah.
and the you can definitely see, and obviously the guy was an idiot, like a
Yeah.
person anyway. But you can definitely see like she didn't even hesitate to side with the lady. And
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of setting that up there, she's very protective of women,
Women. Yeah.
which is where her obsession for this old case that why she thinks the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other little like I was talking about in the opening. There's other little things with that kind of set some, just kind of setting up the that some of these people might come back. I don't know, but like the drunk lady just like wrecking in front of them.
What's this guy calls from the window? Is that so and so
Yeah,
again?
yeah. But I mean, again,
Dude, her in the police station just going. It's just so loud in there.
I know.
obnoxious.
And she's in this like cell. Well, like the door is like it's
Shut.
just-
It's
yeah,
like
and it's
double
like
shut,
very
like
yeah.
it's
It's like a
two-way.
very enclosed area,
What's
and
his
she's
face starts
still
to let
so
her
loud.
out. He's like, you're not going to let her out just because she blows you every once in a while. And he's like, I got a fiance now.
Mail order bride, yeah.
Yeah, but like that is an example of like kind of just setting up like the vibe of this like small town, right?
Yeah.
Like the people out the window know who she
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like even our main character, she's like kind of like, oh, you're at this again, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like all these like just
When they showed the time, the sign of the town, because they showed it at one point. I was wondering, did they say the population? I was wondering how small.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I wonder if it's like,
Ennis, Alaska.
And it's Alaska. I mean, I'm sure it's a real place,
yeah.
which I didn't look up. I assume
I
it is.
didn't either. Yeah.
So yeah, so we're introduced to a couple other characters. We get to meet the younger police officer, and then he's got a wife and kid, or girlfriend and kid, whatever.
Kids drawing something.
Kind of creepy.
Ennis isn't a real town, but the show is based on a real area in the northernmost state, North Slope Borough, Alaska. North Slope Borough is the northernmost area of or county of Alaska, and the barren and cold field provided a major inspiration for the eerie setting of Ennis.
Okay.
So what's the population of this place?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, so meet them. And then there's something going on with the captain and then her, right? Like he's got a bunch of case files at his house.
Yes.
And then she keeps making comments about it. Eventually she sends his son in to like
Yeah.
try to get some files from him. And it's like, I mean, to me, it seems like, cause she's obviously not from there and she moved there.
Yeah.
And like, so I don't know if like he was not doing his job and they had to find a replacement, and then they bring her in as the replacement. Cause it seems like he's kind of bitter at her for a reason.
Well, did you see when she stops the drunk lady,
Mm-hmm.
when she takes a step, they show like a
Yes.
split-second flashback
Yep.
of her, and it's probably has to do with the car accident because they allude to that
Yeah.
when her and
Sure.
her adopted daughter are talking about something. So something happened in that flashback. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably from somewhere else, right? Before she moved there.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But
Ennis is 10.9 thousand population. Or North
Yeah,
Slope Borough.
yeah.
That still seems like way more than I thought it would be.
In
Well,
the
that was-
70s, it was like 2,000.
but that's
Okay.
also a county, right? No, it wasn't a town that you were,
Oh,
or an area. Like it was like
Oh, okay.
I guess.
the way it was like it sounded. But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, not a lot of people even. I mean, 10,000, not a lot of people.
No,
No.
it's not really.
Um,
Everybody up in your business in those
Yeah.
places.
I want to mention, which I don't remember where this actually comes into play, is the title sequence. Because title sequence in True Detective is very important and a big deal. The song choice is always a big deal too, and I think it's great for this.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, perfect. But like the actual graphics, whatever they do with the opening of True Detective, usually shows a lot of like what's to come. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on it next couple weeks too when we go through it. So yeah, great.
Yeah.
The way they edited it to the song too
Yeah.
was sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah, little Billie Eilish, right?
I saw a picture today of like anytime Billie Eilish wins every Grammy at the Grammys, and it's the Pokemon Goldeen, and it's just like this, the face, because it's got the fat lips and the eyes that are like.
That is what she looks like.
I
When she's,
was dead. I mean, it looks smack like her.
yeah.
So I was gonna say the other thing is just I was the SpongeBob toothbrush.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I felt represented
Yeah.
in that.
But it's
Did you
funny
have
she
that
stole
toothbrush?
it.
Yeah.
Which is
Ew,
funny.
gross. First of all, no.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
make
he
me
was
use
gross.
it.
He was like, "Don't
I
no,
know.
that's gross."
Yeah, that's foul. Don't use other. I would never use Jared's toothbrush, let
Yeah.
alone
Well, he
No.
would probably
some like.
yeah. Sharing a toothbrush is just
And then
Yeah,
he
it's
goes, just so you know, I'm not gonna call you. Like after, like, if
Yeah,
you call,
okay.
next time you call, I'm not gonna answer.
You're like, yeah,
Like,
right.
dude, you were almost in tears
I
like
know.
3 seconds ago, bro. At the end of it, you're not going anywhere.
You're going nowhere.
Got you for 3 minutes.
3 minutes of playtime.
Dead. All right.
No, so she finally gets those other case files, and that's when things start to like.
Mm-hmm.
So she's looking and she spots the connection with the jacket.
Mm-hmm.
She realizes
The patch.
There's a patch on the cover up where the
That little
tear
hole
was,
piece.
yeah.
Mhm.
on the victim from whenever it was 10 years prior or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And of course that victim did have had the tongue cut out. So that's so then she goes back to investigate the research facility, and of course when she gets there, Navarro is there too. And then of course they're looking around, they don't really find anything, and then that's when they get the call. And so we had a couple scenes of this lady leading up to this where she was seeing a ghost of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Yeah.
I think an old maybe spouse or
or son.
Son.
Yeah, you weren't sure.
I think she's. Yeah. Did she not say son?
I can't.
I don't
no,
know.
it really just said that he's been dead, and she's like, I know.
Yeah,
And they,
just
like,
someone
ask
she
her
knew.
who-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the scene with her like gutting a wolf, like
Just like
Yeah.
random.
outside in like a sweater,
Yeah.
in like the tundra. I'm like,
Yeah.
where's your coat? Also, why are you doing this?
You're like, no, it was a little warm out for the
Yeah, it was like a balmy -13.
But yeah, so then eventually she falls and he leads. So they get the call, leads her to something. We don't see what it is, and then they get the call and then they show up and it's what, 3 of the guys?
Yeah, it looked like 3 heads.
3 heads sticking out of the ice. They look like they were terrified.
Yeah.
Whatever happened when they got frozen or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where we leave it.
What's good is that we got a cool interpretive dance from
From
the
the ghost
ghost
guy.
It's before
he pointed to where it was.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
He's like, that way.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean a lot like you kind of like a lot of setup.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean yeah, but I mean and a lot of introduced a lot of characters. Oh, we did I mean I forgot to mention we did meet the brother of the older victim, or the victim from the unsolved case. We so I guess remember the trooper, she stopped by and saw him. You know, it's interesting too, like the whole time there's like this like looking down, like it was like a demotion to her going to become a state trooper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I think that's what I mean, like a trooper, but like she's a state trooper.
Yeah.
Versus like the city police.
Yeah.
Or the town police, because it's not really much of a city, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of weird to me because I feel like in general, at least in the and maybe I'm just misreading this, but I feel like the vibe's always been the other way around. Like like state troopers
are above like
kind of like
the HPD.
Yeah, like the town police.
Yeah.
And the county sheriffs. You know, like and then it's like there's a tier there.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to be like anything against any, like, but I just feel like that's always kind of the vibe
cops,
you get.
you guys are people too. Just because you're not a trooper doesn't make you any less important.
But I just, that was the only thing. It just felt like, I was like, oh, I've never, but maybe it's just because, and the way I was trying to think about it was like, maybe because they're not just, I mean, yes, they're town, but they also are detectives, where she got put in a trooper. Maybe she's not a detective anymore.
That's what I
And so you're not supposed to be doing these other things that she really was.
She can't be on cases.
Yeah.
She just does like the crappy, like, 911, what's your emergency
Yeah.
calls?
And maybe that's why it's a demotion. But
Maybe.
yeah, it was kind of like, it's like kind of weird that to me, like, but again, I've never asked anybody. That's just kind of like the vibe that I've kind of always had. So like, I don't know, maybe inside those things it's not that way. I don't know.
I hear there's drama between
probably
like
is
HPD and state troopers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just like I'm sure with detectives, once like the FBI show up, or like
right. I mean, they portray that in movies
right. They
all the
play
time.
that like it's like
They're like,
just a
oh, it's our
pissing
jurisdiction, and
contest.
you're like,
yeah.
no, we got jurisdiction here.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody just whips out their pee-pees and they're like, yeah, well,
The other guys.
yeah, exactly.
I know.
I can't say it as much as I want to.
But
Good
yeah.
times.
Who knew that Michael Keaton was so funny of an actor?
Listen, Michael Keaton's a gem.
He is.
He really is.
But, like,
Best
in that
Batman. I
movie-
said it right here.
Wow.
Put it on.
But in that movie, the other guys, the funniest person
Hey,
ever.
listen, don't go chasing waterfalls. He's like,
Is that TLC reference?
I don't know what you're talking about. That movie. If you haven't seen the other
Holy
guys,
crap.
just go see it.
Holds
I mean,
up
I don't have to say anything.
So well.
Well,
So
I was
funny.
good. Speaking of something, I haven't seen that in a long time. I'll have to watch it
Oh,
because you
man.
guys talking about Monty Python, but
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
it's so good. But also made me think of like, what's that? The Stuntman movie that's
Hot
coming out.
Rod? Oh,
No, the Stuntman movie that's coming out. That looks like
Oh, it's coming out?
yeah.
coming out.
I know you're talking about.
With Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. It looks good.
It does look good.
I
and
haven't
funny.
heard of this.
Yeah.
don't
I
think-
forget what it's called.
Yeah,
Hmm.
something like that. The Stuntman or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the only other thing I want to mention about this episode is so when Navarro first finds the body that's been stabbed like how many times?
It was like
They-
30
they talk about
times.
it, yeah.
And then she was beaten after she was already dead.
Yeah, so they show a quick it might be in the pictures afterwards, a spiral.
Mm.
So this is the only connection I want to say to season 1 is the spiral. And also at the very end, you see how the papers are laid out in the spiral when
Mhm.
Jodie Foster's looking at, Danvers? Is it Danvers? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to say Carol Danvers, but that's Captain Marvel.
Yes.
What is her first name? Something else. Liz Danvers. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah, they do the spiral imagery there too. That's the only connection I could see to season 1, which has to do with Carcosa and the Yellow King,
Mm.
which is anyway.
Mhm.
Any connection to season 1, I'm just gonna be like ecstatic over.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. They
Does
might
anybody
not
have
do anything.
ideas of what they think's going on?
No.
Ooh. I mean, that was going to be next question, like speculation where
Mhm.
we're going, but well, I definitely think there's a connection to that. They wouldn't bring that case up if there wasn't, but
Right.
so I definitely think there's a connection. But what's going on? Like, no, I mean, no idea.
So, have you heard of the story of La Llorona, the old like folklore in Latin America
You told me about
of
this.
the
Yeah.
lady that runs around mourning the loss of her children? Like, yeah, she drowned her children in a fit of rage because of her husband cheating on her, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, after death, she goes around and like haunts, I guess, children maybe, or people in general, because she's just mourning the loss of her children from the horrible thing she did. It's not quite like that, but I'm getting vibes that this woman is coming back for revenge for what happened to her. If this is a paranormal thing.
Yeah.
And like,
Okay.
she's obviously a native to Alaska, her
Yeah.
heritage.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of legends in those,
Right, because and also the tongue had the little like
right.
the
The fishing net. Or
like
the,
scars from the
yeah.
doing the netting
the
or the line or
netting
something.
and the lining and licking it. So she's a native, and there's obviously with those people, they have a lot of those types of legends that
Okay.
they
True.
believe in. And the scene with the polar bear with the missing eye sort
right.
of thing,
That was super weird
It was super
because
weird.
they went from the stuffed animal missing the
Yep.
eye
Mhm.
to like then the polar bear in the middle of the street missing the
With
eye.
missing the eye,
Like,
yeah.
what?
I wonder if, I don't know, some sort of,
Well, here,
you know,
Here's
Well,
a
that makes
question.
sense with the
History.
she's awake thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
all right, because then we heard that a couple times.
she's awake.
So here's a question: how in the other seasons, like, how far do they go over into that realm? Is it like hinted at, but like then never really confirms that,
Mm.
or is it like no, there's supernatural or whatever. Yeah, like
It's always there, but everything is always explained logically.
okay.
But there's always hints at paranormal, in some way going on.
Okay.
You remember from season 1, Claudia, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I know we watched it. I made you watch it. It was like the first thing we watched.
There was like
I was like, you have to watch this.
when
This
I
is the
became
first
Jared's
thing.
girlfriend, he immediately dropped a list this long of things I have to watch.
That was
I haven't
what.
seen.
Yeah, that was like the
And that
first
was
thing.
one of them.
You probably haven't completed that list yet, have you?
No. Will I ever? Stay tuned.
I'm just glad we got through Heat.
Yeah.
3-hour movie.
Very good though. Didn't feel like it was 3 hours.
That's right.
That's the correct answer. He
Yep.
goes.
Doesn't feel like 3 hours because it's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah. So I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're seeing. I
Yeah.
mean, like, definitely intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely well made.
I'm open to all possibilities.
Yeah,
at
there
this
was
point.
some cool camera stuff too in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like nothing crazy, but just some cool camera tricks.
Yeah. Just I don't know. It's I mean,
No score really.
shooting at night all the time. I mean, it's like can't be fun.
That's the thing is like, yeah, like if they actually filmed it it doesn't matter where they filmed it. It's like they have to only film at night then.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that sucks.
Did you see that
It's gonna take a long
that
time.
video I put on Instagram of the Chihuahua up against the window?
That was great.
Yes.
That's
That was so
exactly what I'm afraid of dying immediately, instantly of hypothermia. I mean, resonated.
Yeah.
Bars.
Yeah, that was good.
That would exactly be me if I was ever anywhere near this town. I can't take it here, like, let alone.
But then you
Show.
hit the flip side. Well, I guess it's still cold. But like, because then they have the days that are just the sun never sets too.
I prefer that 100 times.
Yeah. No, I'm just.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I mean, if you got to pick
Imagine
Yeah, if you
trying
had
to
to pick
sleep
one.
though.
one,
you'd have to get blackout
Yeah,
curtains.
you just light
Yeah,
up
you'd
a
have
curtain.
to-
There's
Yeah.
ways to block
Yeah.
that. Whereas like
Yeah.
no sun, you can't recreate the
I
sun.
probably wouldn't sleep if I'm honest with you. If the sun was out like highest in the sky like all the time,
Crazy.
I would probably sleep like 4 hours a day, if that.
Yeah.
You'd really have to create an environment in your home where like lights start to get dim around the certain times, and otherwise I'd just be like this, bing, all day.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we have sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm cool with that.
And seasons.
And seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fall. Yes. I don't know about winter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Some of that too long here.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's about it for this this one. We looking forward to next episode. Obviously, if you have thoughts, inklings, questions,
Concerns.
yeah, you can comment on YouTube or send us an email at feedback@screentimepod.com. Please, if you enjoy this, like and subscribe.
Please.
Please. We're begging you. No.
Email us and tell us your ranking of the True Detective seasons.
Yeah.
I want to hear
That's
some
a
hot
good one.
takes.
Huh?
Yeah.
I want
Yes.
to hear someone that says season 1 is not good, because I have yet to hear anyone say that.
Yes.
Because it's on site.
Yeah. Then we'll fight.
Yep. Send me your address.
Send me
Yeah.
the Addy. I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and let us know. Yeah, like your thoughts. Let us know what you thought of the finale of Monarch. And you enjoyed that, yeah. The chest, the Kong chest. Of course, you like and or follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify if you so you don't miss an episode. And if you so like, you can follow each one of us on Instagram. I'm at J Youngbar.
I'm at Claudia Youngbar.
I'm at Jered Youngbar. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, it's sticking your tongue out.
I made a face like this in the camera and it made myself laugh.
Also,
You're looking at yourself in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Denzel on Training Day. That's what I always think of when I hear King Kong. One of the best quotes ever.
My nickname
of
is
the best.
Claudzilla.
Ooh.
It is. Sorry, I
so
got the
many
best
references.
nickname.
And a
So many
state
references.
in a state that Claudia is in sometimes.
Yeah, when I'm hungry.
Yep.
Claudzilla comes out,
Uh-huh.
destroying cities.
Well, hopefully we don't see that anytime soon.
Yeah. You almost saw it at the MMT meeting on Sunday. I just want you to know that.
Oh man. For sure.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
It's your fault for not bringing any food.
It's your fault for playing a 10-minute video that we already saw.
Not everyone saw that
Yeah,
video.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's okay. So good. I'm alive. We're here.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we will catch you guys next week.